Gemini, how you doing? So we are going to do your Divine Feminine and Divine Masculine Tarot card readings. Please do not forget though, guys, this is very important. People keep asking me, how do I put the work in? I am always the adversary of triggers, okay? Tarot card readings can trigger you off majorly, okay? So if you're being triggered, that's you putting the work in. So unfortunately, when it comes down to that, it's normally where you have to look at that of what it is that's triggering you off, okay? So that's you putting the work in. So it's never anyone else's fault. If you're feeling a trigger and you're feeling blocked and triggered, then there seems to be a reason of what that is that's triggering you off. It's never anybody else. That's the work that you need to put in towards a trigger that is triggering you off. Okay, so that would be you actually looking at that and thinking, you know what, this really could be me. I need to look at that, what that is, so on and so forth. And it's never anyone else's fault, but that's normally when someone else will pass buck or blame. So I'm hearing Chris, Christopher, Christine, buck, passing the buck, buckshot, something to do with buckshot. Someone might have a limp, okay, and I've got some sort of like sciatica or shot, like, ugh, unless someone's doing shots, or unless they're doing shots in the eye, which would be eyeball Paula, so Paul, Pauline, Butchie, Paul, okay, and doing shots. Some of you, that might be something around someone's birthday party, could be a Piscean, you could be dealing with a Pisces, could be going out for a drink or something like that. Is definitely what I'm hearing. Drink water. Some of you, okay, so Spirit is saying to some of you, drink water, okay, but I used to know a person called Michael, drink water, believe it or not. So Michael, Melissa, Maria, Michael, Jackson, Julian, Justin, Jackie, Jasmine, drink water. So anybody that's called Waters, Kelly, what's that, Keely? Keely or Kelly, I know Kelly Waters, Roger, but like water or drink water, or you're just dealing with a water sign. Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces for a lot of you, okay, but they're saying that there seems to be a lot of water, okay, unless your waters are broke, okay, and someone could be pregnant, or there might be a birth of something, unless it's a tap of water. Could be dealing with a Gemini or a Capricorn for a lot of you, okay. This is a care worker and assistant also. I'm looking for assistance and I need some advice, okay. My device, some sort of like D, Danielle, Danny. I'm also hearing Danny Glover, can't take this shit no more, life path number 7, or a Cancerian for a lot of you, okay. There might be a lot of visits to the hospital, so sorry, we're doing the feminine first, then the masculine, okay. So I'm hearing like, I need to seek some attention. I need to go to the hospital. So for a lot of you, I don't know, this could be your mother or your grandmother, but it's basically like I need to get some advice, okay. So I need an adversary. So the adversary of triggers, okay. So I might be triggered off, okay. Adverts. Some of you might be looking into AdSense or adverts. Oh, thank you so much for everybody that joined Angel Radio. I now have my 1,000. I haven't checked it for the last couple of days. But something to do with around AdSense or adverts or something like that, okay. Addy, Adam and Eve, Steve, Sarah, Sassy, Nigel. I keep hearing Niall or Nigel or Nicole, okay. Kidman, kid, my kids. Some of you could be looking after your kids or your grandchildren. This could be your grandmother and looking after my children or my grandmother and mother, something like that. Because I'm hearing like grandparents, grandmother, father, mother looking after my children, looking after my grandchildren for a lot of you. So, yeah. So, anyway, so Divine Feminine for, what is the Divine Feminine of Gemini got going on? Divine Feminine for Gemini. What have they got going on this week, please, for the Divine Feminine with Gemini? So 8 of Swords, you could be dealing with an Aquarius or a Leo. This is also you guys maybe working from home and having to do it at home and then just pop out. I'm hearing I'm just going to have to pop out and then pop back, okay. So someone's in the door, out the door, in the door, out the door. They can't ever sit still. You could be going out today for a lot of you. I'm also hearing Colin or Day, anybody called Day. Night and day. From night and day, I'm a nurse. This is night nurse, like good night nurse, good night mother, good night father, good night. Someone keeps saying someone, okay, good night, I'll see you in the morning, can I talk to you in the morning? Okay, good night, good night. So all I keep hearing, good night, good night, good night, sweet prince. Prince, the prince, Prince of Bel Air, Bells, Prince of Bel Air. Let's see, Divine Feminine for Gemini. Divine Feminine for Gemini. Don't forget you can also watch this as a Capricorn for a lot of you, okay, because we're looking at the energy of 6. Gemini and Capricorn are both cut from the same cloth of sixes. If you follow me and you know, then it's definitely wise to check out the videos below, okay? Because it can get quite complex when we start looking at numbers, but we're doing divine feminine, divine masculine. So at the moment you could be dealing with a Pisces for a lot of you, okay? And you do feel like I'm happy, okay? I am happy. So I don't know if this is, I'm always saying nothing compares to you, like Chris Cornell, Christine, Chrissy, but nothing compares to you. Like I can't compare. Unless someone's eating pears, like gumdrops or pears, like someone can taste. What is that normally when you taste pears in your mouth? Okay, or a bitter taste in my mouth. Like I'm very bitter at the moment. Bitter, unless you're drinking bitter, okay. But like that would be British, like lager or bitter, okay. But like I'm hearing a bittersweet symphony, okay. So something to do with a synthetic orchestra. So some of you might be doing VSTs. Sorry, I'm itching my leg. Synthetic orchestra. So you might be doing things around VSTs, music, very creative around your music side at this moment. Something like orchestra is heaviosity. Okay, so VSTs of heaviosity. So you might be doing like I do for Angel Radio, music producing, doing stuff like that for a lot of you divine feminine energies here. Feeling very creative. I'm also hearing Cynthia or Sarah or Steve, and then synthetic, or why do I keep hearing you're pathetic? You're pathetic. Does somebody keep putting someone down and saying you're pathetic? Synthetic or pathetic? Where is that? Divine Feminine for Gemini. Divine Feminine for Gemini. What they got going on, please, for the Divine Feminine. So the Ten of Swords, you've got two tens. 8 and 9. Some of you it's a Virgo or it's a trigger. 9 can be a trigger because it can be someone that's over anxious, because it could be this side, okay. Very anxious, very nervous, okay. Because I'm hearing I need to get out. Like, I really do need to get out. But do you want out of this or do you want in on this? Like, are you sure you want to get out of this? Like, get out of this alive? Or do you want this or do you not want this? Do you want me or don't you want me? Some of you might be like feeling like you've been stabbed in the back, like physically stabbed in the back. Like everything I do I always end up fucking on the floor, stabbed in the back, like constantly all the time. Okay, and everybody and every time do I end up turning up to people just stab me in the back. Or I'm back, or like here's Johnny, Julian, Jason, Justin, Jackie, Jasmine, and I want you back, like Michael Jackson. Or like Michael, but I want you back. I've got you back. I want you back. I want you back. Show me the divine masculine for Gemini. Show me the divine masculine, please. What's going on with the divine masculine for Gemini? So again, you see, it's kind of like I don't know if I want this. Like I don't know if I want the future. You've got 2 8s. Okay. Like I'm thinking about leaving. Or like, are you thinking about going? Like, what are you doing? Like, do you want to be with me? Or are you thinking about leaving all of this behind? Like, so if you are leaving, then where are you going? Okay, because if you're going to leave me, then where is it that you're headed? Because 8 always heads towards the destiny of 8, which is Aquarius, right? So it's like, do you want to leave the future then? You don't want me in your future. You seriously thinking about walking away. Okay, and you don't want to be with me. Okay, because it feels like that what we've built up, you're actually just going to walk out. Now you're going to walk out now. Because it can be energetically, because I'm not picking up any signs of communication as such, but it's more energetic. I always say this, like, you know, some people, you know, in order to walk away from a person, right, you have to physically turn your back and walk away from the person that you're with. But energetically, it can be like more of, so all of what we've had and all of what we've done, you're physically now prepared to leave the future of all the plans that we've made to the future. Are you going to be a part of my future? Like, are we going to meet up in the future, or do you want to just leave it for now? Or what is it that you're trying to decide, that you want to leave me, that you physically do want to go? Okay. Because you've got 2 8s, you've got this energy here of like, well, I'm just here. Like, I'm here on my own. I'm not seeing anybody. I'm supposed to be seeing you, okay, and I'm on my own, okay, or Alchemy and you, or Natalie, but I'm here on my own. I work on my own, okay, I'm best on my own, okay, but there's this energy of like, well, I'm here, physically here, waiting for you, but what are you doing? How are you doing, right? So it's kind of like that. So like, if you're going, then where are you going? Are you going towards another person, and is that why you've left? Is that why you've ended things? Because you're going somewhere else, or you're interested in another person? You see, there could be a trigger here of where this person's left, okay, but it's like you're prepared to leave all of this emotional stuff behind. See, this, like I said, 8 and 1 here is a 9 of cups, right? So you're looking at like Virgo energy, or life path 9s possible, okay? But it's kind of like this retrograde moment, right, where everything is built up and someone that cares for you very much has been caring for you, has been looking after you, and has been doing all of this stuff for you. And then it's kind of like this approach of like, now I can see your true colors. You're prepared to like break up and walk out on this. See, a lot of people during retrograde, they really can build up like something that happens in retrograde, and it makes such a strong connection. But in order to make it is where you need to stick together after retrograde. And if you leave after retrograde, then that's more of one of these energies of like, well, the connection isn't quite as strong as what it was before, okay, because retrograde was there. Retrograde is normally meant for, okay, we're going to throw a connection at you, we're going to bring people back from the past, we're going to do all of these kind of stuffs around communicating, we're going to make you do loads of like, you know, networking and everything else, and work and put work in, and everybody feels as if they need to put work in for the future, and this is working, this is working, this is working, and then it's not working, and it's not working when you deal with like electrical stuff and like communication, and we've been communicating really well, but then all of a sudden when retrograde stops, we don't seem to be communicating on the same par anymore. Why is that? Because communication is stopped. Okay, that's because retrograde is now pretty much gone direct and now starting to go on its course, which means that I'm now starting to go on my way. Okay, which means that, so you come into my life, you build all this up, and now you're thinking about leaving, so you haven't passed retrograde. Okay, so it's kind of like this feeling of you're going to give up and you're just going to like walk out now. Okay, let's see. What's the Divine Masculine going through, please? The Divine Masculine that is connected to Gemini, please. The Divine Masculine of what they're going through. Divine Masculine of what they got going through that's connected to Gemini, please. Okay, so they're still watching. They're still curious. They're still curious. Like, I keep hearing curiosity killed the cat. Or Catherine. Kathy or Catherine or Kat or Cassandra. But like, I'm still watching and I'm still looking at you. Because it's kind of like someone's trying to make someone pay. Like, I'm trying to make you pay. Like, I'm trying to make you come towards me without talking. Scorpio had this in their reading, okay? And it was a lot about childish games of like talking, not talking, then we're talking, then we're not talking, now we're not talking, and now you've left and now you're not talking, and we was talking and we were making plans and now you're not talking to me, but you're still like looking at my social media account, or you're still like thinking about me, and you're still thinking, well, have they left or have they not left? Are they going to communicate or are they not going to communicate? Are they actually going to come towards me or are they not coming towards me? Should I find someone new or should I continue on the same path? Am I going towards the energy of where now I energetically, when Steve says about the 8 of Cups, that I can physically walk out the door, okay, but I can't energetically just forget, okay? So it's kind of like, well, you'll regret this if you walk out on me now, you'll regret this. So it's kind of like this, am I going to regret this? Like, if I physically do leave this person, am I going to regret it? Okay, Because it could be like this, well, I don't know what to do then, because if you're not communicating but you're still keeping an eye on me, well then what is it that you want? Like, why, like, are you just like, what, like, I don't know. Because I mean, it rings true of the Scorpio reading, but you don't have Scorpio here, unless you've got it in your chart somewhere. But it's like this game of like, okay, so don't speak then, right? Don't speak. Okay, then don't speak to me. Okay, don't speak, but I'm going to keep checking my phone to make you see if you've texted me, right? And have you texted me? Have you not texted me? Does he love me? Does he love me not? And that's normally when everybody starts checking on tarot card readings, doing their own cards. How do they think about me? How do they feel about me? Are they thinking about me? Yes. You're both thinking about one another, so why is it that you're not communicating? That's what I'm saying. Because is someone actually communicating with someone else? Or is there a trigger here? Right? Because if we're looking at the divine masculine energy, they're the ones that walked out on this energy here, as it seems, because you're just here sitting pretty of like, well, I'm just doing my thing. I'm just like Stephen, but like I'm just doing my thing. Okay, so I'm just working from home. I'm doing the best I can to care for you. If you want me, you know where I am, because I do love you and I do care for you, okay, and I will look after you, and I'm trying to like consider you of like take you into consideration of your best interests, okay, but what can I do? I'm just here, like I am here literally just waiting for you. So it's all down to you. But if this person's saying no, it's all because of you, it's all down to you, then someone's got a trigger. Okay, someone has a trigger, right? Because like I said, if you're still relating to how I read cards in numerology and how I read numbers, right, if you've got like a Gemini Capricorn in your chart, right, but the other person does as well, and Leo and Aquarians, you've got 2 8s on either side, okay? So that means that you could have the same kind of like placements with one another, okay? Because that's obviously going to compare you to your chart, okay? But it's like this, am I charting a new course? Am I going on a new course? Or some of you might be doing something around your work here. Or someone always keeps an eye on around your work, like coursework. And they watch you while you work. Like, I love watching you work. Because this is, or twerk, right? This is a saying that I have in Britain, or I have in Britain, right? I fucking hate it when you walk in the door, but my God, do I love it when you walk out. And someone loves it when the other person walks out on them. Because it leaves them curious, like, how dare you walk away from me? It's like, you know, so what, you walked out on me? You're prepared to let me go? Yeah, well, and they're like, okay, so now I'm curious. Why is it that you would let me leave? And you're like, well, talk then. Like, if you want me to stay, well, then reach out and speak to me. Then but if you don't, then why are you curious the fact that I left? Why, you know, like this equivocal, like, scratching your head thinking, well, I can't fucking work this person out. If they don't want me, but they're thinking about me, then what is it that they actually do think about me? Have they got my true feelings, like, you know, are they taking my feelings into consideration? Or are they not taking my feelings into consideration? Do you know? Show me the divine masculine. Show me the divine masculine that is connected to Gemini, please. The divine masculine that is connected to Gemini, please. What they're going through. 8 of Wands. So it is. This person does want communication. It's kind of like they want... You've got 3 8s. Aquarian Leo energies. Okay. Aquarian Leo energies. Right. And they're very curious. It's kind of like this person waits, or you both wait on each other to communicate. Like... No, I'm waiting for you to reach out. No, I'm waiting for you to reach out. Okay, then let's see how long we can drag this out without speaking. Okay, how long's it been? Let me check my phone. Are they texts? No. Okay, how long has it been? Okay. And it's like this, and like really, or the name Anne or Annabelle, but like keep checking something all the time. Like I'm checking on your social media account, or I'm checking my phone, or I'm checking to see if you've messaged, or I'm checking the time. Like, I feel like time's running out. Like, have you messaged yet? No. Have you messaged yet? No. Okay, so they're not messaged. Why? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, because this is communication. This is looking out, right? Looking out to see if someone spoke. Okay, but it can also be checking out people's public profile energies, right, of whatever it is that they got going on. But it can be very curious about, okay, are they going to communicate? Because if this is the divine masculine energy, they're watching social media or their phone to see if you've communicated with them. So, like I said to everybody, if you want to talk to a person, then don't text, talk, like physically communicate. Things with text messages and stuff like that I fucking hate text messaging because I'm dyslexic. Okay, so I hate fucking about with the phone. I'd rather be straight up direct and speak to a person. Speak, because then you can engage in their voice, their vocabulary, whether they're angry, whether they're pissed off, why. If you're texting, you can look at it and think, what the fuck does that mean? Right? Because it's kind of like going back and looking through texts and thinking, hold on a minute, what did you say? Like, I did, like, no, but you said that, like, well, if you'd have just, like, spoke to me and phoned me up and said, hello, is that you, Belinda? If you'd have spoke, then messages wouldn't have got, you see, fucking retrograde can do that as well, okay? But, like, it's kind of like, well, what you said to me and what you did, or what you sent me, didn't make any fucking sense. Like, you just said something out of the blue, okay, and then all of a sudden you ended things out of the blue. Why would you do that? Like, why would you just suddenly go off me after all this time? You've literally just gone AWOL, okay, but you're actually wanting communication. So why would you do that? What kind, like, that's what I'm saying with couples and, like, relationships. You can set each other off by not speaking, right? And when you don't and you're not clear, as okay, someone can overthink. This is like you're overthinking it. Like, you're overthinking, you're analysing stuff to the highest degree of overthinking. And if I'm connected to you in a soulmate, twin flame, divine feminine, masculine, your thoughts are a reflection of mine. So you're creating this energy of, like, well, you're stressing me out. Like, you know, you're on my mind 24/7 and I am yours. But what kind of game are you playing? Like, if you want to communicate, then why is it that you are waiting for me to come towards you? Yeah, but you always come towards me. And you're like, man, just fucking speak. Like, let's see. Because the Page of Swords is someone that is very curious of whether there is going to be communication or not, right? Which means that everybody then turns to tarot readers and, like, are they going to communicate with me? How do they think about me? How do they feel about me? But if you were speaking and you were talking, why would that be necessary to find out information about another person of how they're truly thinking and feeling? Because that's tarot, right? So obviously you're not talking. Like, obviously you're not speaking directly to one another, right? So it leaves people very curious of, like, okay, so why is it then that you're not speaking to me? Because I'm thinking about you, and it's quite clear that if this is, or the name Claire, if this is the divine masculine energy, well, then they are thinking. They are thinking about communicating. So, I mean, they could be by now. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I've also, for a lot of people, they're so quick to judge a tarot reading and they haven't seen the extended version of how everything clarifies and how it goes, you know. Let's see, show me the divine masculine that is connected to Gemini, please. The divine masculine that is connected to Gemini. 10 of Wands, because it's too much of a stress. 8 and 1 is 9 again. Okay, so it might be a life path 9, it could be a Virgo, but you seem to have a lot of numbers that add up to a 9, okay? And it is like, yeah, but I'm going through a shitload of stress at the moment. Well, just relieve some of that stress on me, yeah, but I don't want to put my burdens on you. It's like, it's too much of a burden for me to let you carry it. It's like, but that's what I'm supposed to do as a partnership. I know you're under an enormous amount of stress and it's very fucking difficult for you, but let me help. Let me relieve some of that burden. Let me relieve some of that stress. No, but I don't want to. Okay. So it's kind of like this, well, what are you doing then? Are you leaving? Because you've got 10, 10 and 10. It's like this everlasting cycle of like, so what, you're going to leave and you're never coming back, and you're just going to carry the burden of all of this and just like do it yourself. Like, oh, I'll just do it myself then. Okay, if no one else is going to help me, fuck it, I'll just do it myself. And you're like, no, but I am here willing to help. Do you know what I mean? It's kind of like, no, I am here. I am here for you. I am willing to help. If you would just speak and you was to just say, you know what, I'm under a huge, enormous amount of stress at the moment, right? And as a partner, you are supposed to help me. If you are helping this person, because this is helping, this is caring and loving and sharing and thinking, you know what, I do care for you. I'm here for you. I do love you. I do want to be with you. But why the tens? Is it just a phase that we're going through? Okay, because nothing in life lasts forever, but it does. Meaning, like, every time you come to an ending, you always come to a beginning. Okay, so you go through cycles and you go through life and you go through things individually, right? So nothing ever means that it's completely over. It just means that it might be delayed for some time, but still it's this energy of like communicating, thinking, and then communicating in another direction. Right? A 9 of Wands is PTSD, triggers. 9 of Wands. It's like I'm being triggered. What I'm watching here, what I'm watching is actually triggering me off. But like I said, in love, life and situations of my job, I am the adversary of triggering people off because I am a truth straight up from a tarot reader, a tarot card reader. So people watch, but they get triggered off by what they watch. And then if the person blames, well, then there's a trigger within a person that is challenged by the other partner, where the other partner can be like, oh, no, I don't want to. I've heard enough. Like, I've heard enough now. Okay? So it's kind of like, but the trigger is within the person. It's not the other person's fault. Unless it was the other person that fucking lied, manipulated and stole and fucking everything else. But if you're just in a connection and what do you call it? The masculine goes through triggers of past relationships, like control through PTSD, and like is really finding triggers really hard at this moment. And I'm finding work hard. I'm finding it really difficult to communicate with anybody. I can't seem to be on par with anybody. Okay, if they go further down and down and down and down and down into the trigger, then, like I said, you will be triggered by what it is that you find out. But is that anybody else's fault of what happened in another person's life that is with you or without you? Did this happen to the masculine outside of the relationship, where they may have had children with another partner, and because they did, they are now suffering through relationships of other relationships of kids being involved? Okay, but if it isn't children being involved, then it can be past things of brothers and sisters and past relationships and triggers where everybody is always walked out on me and I've ended up sabotaging energies and just walking off, but then thinking, why is it that I can't never seem to get anywhere in a relationship? Okay. And that every door always leads back down to, I mean, trust me, I'm fucking adversary of that one. Every door you open seems to lead down to an energy where you build up a spiritual connection with someone. And then when retrograde finishes, because this is 8, this is Aquarius, okay? So what were we? Aquarius in Venus and retrograde of Aquarian, okay? This is where I have it in Mercury and Venus, 8, okay? What people say about my voice and shit is because I have Mercury there, okay? But again, it's this energy of like things were all built up over retrograde and the connection is still there, but why is it that I feel that you're disconnecting from me and not wanting the energy of what retrograde put together? So it's a test. It's a test of will and strength, okay, which why an 8 or a Leo could be here, of why you've got them. It's a test of strength. It's a test of retrograde. Was retrograde strong enough to build up a connection through retrograde, and now think, why is the energy not as strong? It's probably because you're not communicating. It's because you're not opening up, because somebody's going through 9, which is PTSD and trauma, now confused about what was built up and what was said, and is now really confused about what direction of life comes upon them, where it's more of a burden of now, okay, now I had you in my life, but now do I really want you in my life? But that's also a trigger of PTSD. Okay, so a person is analysing situations now to the highest degree, okay, because the direction of their life, I don't know whether that compares to the direction of your life. If you're going in completely different directions, or if you're just basically biding your time to come back together, because you do have 10, 10 and 10 on different sides. So it's like an open-ended discussion, or an open-ended where like, well, what, none of us can really do anything until one of us starts actually talking, but someone is making the other person feel that the other person doesn't want to talk, that they can't be bothered, that they don't want to talk, okay? So you're both kind of creating this paranoia, or this, because this can also be paranoid, okay? If I'm paranoid, a 9 of Wands, and I'm paranoid of everything that you're saying, speaking, or doing, if I'm paranoid, paranoia is a reflection onto one's partner. To say, I'm paranoid about you caring about me, that you love me, that you would put up with me. Why would you do that? Why would you put up with my shit? Okay, my shit is not your shit. So why would you do that? Okay, so I've got no option but to get to leave, because people, right? So I don't know. So someone on this side here really is considering just like leaving it. I don't know how long for. I don't know if this is forever. Because like I'm saying, I keep hearing this, I don't know if I'm ever coming back. Like, because this is future, and 8 is future. I'm headed towards the future. But they're all leaving. Like, leaving the future. You're prepared to leave the future. You don't want the future at all. You don't. Like, you don't want to be with me in the future. Do you see us being together in the future? Do you not seeing us seeing us? Are you serious? Like, are you serious? So all this time, you've not been serious. You've actually been lying all of this time, and you've actually not taken a connection that we've built up seriously. You're not taking it seriously. Okay. That's what I keep hearing. Are you serious? You're obviously serious about leaving. I don't know. Very complicated situation. But we will find out more, like I said, because it's really not, it's only given me a general story of what is presented to me here, okay? But like I said, guys, don't look at triggers. Triggers is like, okay, what am I working on? Okay, so I've got a trigger, okay? It's someone else that can trigger off that feeling, but it's never anybody else's fault that makes that trigger. That's if you're together fucking fighting and arguing, you're triggering me. Get out my way, right? But if you're energetically tethered together, you can only trigger one another off by no communication. Okay. Okay, unless it's just a shot in the dark, which is pretty much just like it was a retrograde thing, and now the energy is not there. That means now the energy is not there, but is the relationship there? That's the test. Like, spiritual stuff is retrogrades, okay? They make energies very potent, definitely within, what do you call it, Aquarian, right? Because that's your love sex, that's mine, okay? Venus, okay, and that's where it was, I believe. So that makes everybody very passionate, very loving, connections, brings them together. When that energy isn't there, that's reality. That's a reality check. Right? Without the connection, is the reality of the relationship there strong enough to build it up where we could make that connection back into a connection if we can reconnect, okay, and be honest with one another. Because if you can't, that's where an energy is like spiritual stuff that all twangles together with you, makes you feel very loving and caring, and then all of a sudden when that energy is not there and the feeling isn't there, that's sort of like, okay, so the future plan, is that not there of us being in a relationship then? The connection needs to be there, sure, but that was retrograde that brought it together. Afterwards, what is it that you're not, like, you don't want me now because of no connection being there, by that not being my fault, by that being spiritually led into a spiritual connection, and you don't want it now because why? I'm not good enough. Okay, so that's a reality check. Okay, so there you go, that's what I've got. If you want to continue on with this reading, I'm going to do you more cards here and more cards here, and pretty much tell you the outcome, and then also do the outcome of this cycle this week. Okay, that's what you get. It's on the full access bundle only on Patreon. You can find the link provided below, but it will be the full access bundle only. Thanks very much. I really do appreciate it, guys. Make sure you join Angel Radio as well if you like it. It's free music. As a music producer, I've got other stuff in the works as well. And if you like it, it's free music. I'm just trying to build up another channel, and you can find that one below as well. Personal email for personal readings and stuff, follow it below. Videos, learning, teaching, videos provided below. Okay. All right, guys. Thanks very much, and I'll see you soon.